Hello everyone, I'm Ankit and you're watching Stereo IQ IAS English. In our today's video, we'll cover about the India-Oman trade deal and how it strengthens India's Middle East strategy, right? Now, we all know Middle East for India's foreign policy perspective is very important, most important for our economic security. So what is this trade deal and what are the important provisions of this trade deal that will ensure India gets a stronger foothold in the Middle East? That we'll discuss in our today's discussion. And the notes, if you want to download them, you can go to a particular Telegram channel called as ETS Live, and this is where you'll find the notes. Download them and do not forget to subscribe to the channel also. So let us start our today's discussion by understanding India has signed a trade deal with Oman, and the first consequence of this would be that India will be able to get a stronger foothold for its exports in West Asia. So why do you think India needs other markets in West Asia? The primary reason behind it is that our larger export markets like in US and EU, they are getting more and more protectionist. More and more protectionist means that these countries who used to favor the idea of free trade and relaxed trade, now they are trying to prevent trade which is happening from developing countries like India. For example, US is increasing tariffs on Indian products, not just Indian products, products from across the globe. And this restricts the kind of products that Indians would otherwise would have been able to sell in markets like United States. On the other hand, European Union, they are implementing a carbon border adjustment mechanism that discourages imports of resource intensive, carbon intensive products like steel and aluminium, which might come from developing countries like India. So all in all, because of the rising protectionism, our exports to these countries are going to face problem. So India was looking a way out of this situation, and one of the way out of this situation was to diversify our export markets, not to put all our eggs in baskets like EU and US, right? So we are looking for newer markets, and this is where Oman and the wider region of the Middle East, also called as West Asia from our perspective, rightly fits in, right? So this is the context based on which we'll have our today's discussion. Now, ever thought about why India signed a trade deal with Oman? You need to understand this. Now, Oman is situated in a place where the intergovernmental organization known as Gulf Cooperation Council exists. Gulf Cooperation Council is an intergovernmental organization headquartered in Riyadh of Saudi Arabia, and it includes 6 countries of the region. All of them are highlighted in the map. It also includes Oman, Bahrain, Kuwait, Qatar, Saudi, UAE, right? So 6 members all in all, and it is an intergovernmental organization. Now, what India wanted to do, India took a multilateralist approach. India thought if we get a trade deal with GCC, it will automatically put our exports in 6 different economies of the Middle East. But these talks broke down. So instead, India took a bilateral approach. India tried to solve its trade deal issues with UAE first, with SEPA, which was signed in 2022. And the second country out of these 6 GCC members, that is Oman, we have signed a trade deal now in 2025. So this means that if India was unable to sign a trade deal together with 6 countries in form of Gulf Cooperation Council, now India is trying to sign a trade deal individually with these countries called as bilateral approach, right? So this is the strategic rationale for India-Oman trade deal. Now you need to understand where does Oman fits in. Although Oman is a very small market, it has a total import size of about $40 billion a year. But you need to understand Oman's location is very strategic. Just see from this map. Oman is very near to India in the Indian Ocean region, and through Oman we can reach markets of the Middle East, we can reach markets of East Africa. So this strategic gateway of Oman and its ports, it provides us access to a larger geography of West Asia, East Africa and Indian Ocean trade routes. Now you need to understand Strait of Hormuz is also located in Oman. So this is how we can be able to control major portions of the globe through access to Middle Eastern economies, one of which is Oman. So this is the solid reason behind it. Now you need to understand in the past 5 years, India's exports to Oman have doubled from $3 to $6 billion. And the key items like we export to Oman includes machinery and parts, aircraft components, agricultural crops like rice, beauty, personal care products, pharmaceuticals, ceramics, even refined petroleum. So all of these are the key India's exports to countries like Oman. On the other hand, Oman gives us crude oil, LNG, fertilizers, chemical inputs, as well as pet coke, right? So Oman's products to India are very essential for India's energy as well as fertilizer security. And to be able to solidify one single source of all these important agreements was the key intention behind why India signed this particular deal. Now, what are the benefits that India gets from this particular trade deal? We need to understand this also. Earlier, before the trade deal was signed, 80% of Indian goods which used to enter into Oman, they were subjected to about 5% of average tariff. On the other hand, sensitive items like tobacco and meats, they were subjected to huge amount of white taxes. So all of this increased the price of our products, and when price of our products in export markets increases, our cost competitiveness, it reduces, right? So this is one of the key negative aspects that we were facing before the signing of this deal. Now, after this deal has been signed, 99.38% of India's exports to Oman will be having zero duty access. So the tariffs will be brought down to zero on almost all the products. So much so that even our service sector employees, professionals who are going to give services in Oman's economy, they will be offered enhanced mobility. So all of this deal is good for exports of goods to Oman. This is also better for exports of services to Oman, particularly in the mode 4 services, which enhances the ability of our export professionals to go into Oman and deliver services. Now we need to understand long-term gains, if India were to get it, would depend on upgradation of quality of our products and also ensuring that our products remain differentiated in the market of Oman. Not just this, you need to understand Oman has signed an FTA with US, which is an application in 2009, and many Omani exports, they enter into US duty free. So this gives India an opportunity. First of all, India is facing difficulty in access to US market directly. So what we can do indirectly, we can develop a value chain hub where our products go to Oman, small value is added to it, and they will be getting duty free exports to US market, right? So this in a way provides us indirect access to markets like US, where our direct access right now is under strain. Similarly, it will also provide fillip to many sectors which have been affected due to this imposition of tariffs by US on our products like gems and jewelry and industrial products. All of them automatically go to Oman, so from there they can be routed to US. Now, one of the key aspect of cooperation between these two countries is the investment that is done mainly from Indian companies in the Omani's economy, and this Indian investments exceed $7.5 billion. So this SEPA is not just trade oriented, it is also oriented towards investments, and this investment, if they were to increase in Oman, it will provide India larger economic footprint in the entire region of Middle East. And since Middle East is in our immediate neighborhood, this shows you that India is developing its extended neighborhood strategy, also solidifying its relations with all the neighborhood countries, including the countries in Middle East. Now, what you need to understand, there are certain risks and concerns that we need to be aware of. First of all, I've told you one of the biggest strategic mistakes Indians have done in the past, and they continue to do even today, is that we never learn from our mistakes. So much so that with whosoever big economy we have signed an FTA, we have seen after signing of the FTA, imports, they rise in more quantity as compared to exports. And when imports go above exports, it creates what is known as trade deficit. So there is a possibility, like what happened with India-UAE FTA also. After India signed an FTA with UAE, you need to understand India's trade deficit with UAE tripled, right? So there is also a possibility that our exports might not increase as much as we want to Oman. On the other hand, their imports might increase by a lot, and this would widen the possibility of having a trade deficit, right? Similarly, in markets like Middle East, we also are subjected to multiple non-tariff barriers, and this would probably block our access of the sale of pharmaceutical products, that like how it used to do in UAE. Similarly, you need to understand, anyhow, Oman's market size is very limited. I told you they have a yearly capacity of importing about $40 billion. So this constrains our export expansion, that beyond a certain level, we can't expect Oman's exports from India to increase, right? Now, what you need to understand in our today's discussion, this shows realism on India's policy part. It shows that when multilaterally we were not able to sign the deal with GCC, we made sure that we are able to sign deals individually with the country, like we did with UAE. Now we are doing it with Oman, and this is made sure to balance multiple important aspects of India's foreign policy. India is able to diversify its trade market when it is facing problems in the West. India is able to ensure energy security by importing key items like crude oil, fertilizers. Similarly, we are also enhancing our geopolitical presence in West Asia. So anything if were to happen in West Asia, India would have a larger stake now. And it also highlights the limits of FTA. FTA beyond a certain levels are only beneficial if we are able to address non-tariff barriers and competitiveness of our products which are sold in the market. So FTA is not the ultimate solution. It is one of the solution, but we have to make sure to look after other problems as well, which might be subjected to beyond the provisions of FTA. Okay. Now, before solving a question that exactly appeared in the UPSC prelims, there are some important announcements that I need to make. First is Resolution Plus batches. Now, you need to understand a new Resolution Plus December batches, they are starting from 26th of December. And if you were to take admissions in these batches, you'll be given live classes, recorded lectures. In case if you miss live classes, you'll have an option to watch the recorded video as well. To get your doubts cleared, you can take help of mentorship under one-to-one mentorship support. You are given access to prelims and mains test series where you can practice your learning. All of them are integral part of our Resolution Plus batches offered separately for students looking to give exams in 2027 as well as for 2028. Now, to subscribe to these batches, just go to our website, but make sure to enter the code ATS Live before you make the payment. Using this code, you will get a discount of as much as 7,000 rupees, which we all know is a lot of money, right? So save that money, use the code ATS Live and learn to thrive. And before ending today's discussion, this is the question that appeared in 2016. Which one of the following is not a member of the Gulf Cooperation Council? Just let me know in the comment section which is the correct answer. And also please let me know, is India actually going to benefit with this Oman trade deal? I want your opinion in the comment section. And the notes of this would be available in the particular Telegram channel called as ATS Live. So this is all from my side. Please have a very good day and have a very good night as well.